today because I am really wanting to talk about a couple of things. And one of the topics that, I want to start out with, I got this from Android Police. So basically, a lot of times I just go throughout the week just looking at articles, and I saw this article and I'm like, man, I definitely got to talk about this. So basically, I'm going to actually paraphrase this article. You can look at it on Android Police. I'll put the link below. They actually posted this article November 2nd, and it was written by Ryan Hager. And basically, it's talking about Google is looking to bring in digital IDs. And the point is basically you can use your phone to present an ID. Now, most people are like, well, we can already do that. Apple have had Apple Cards, and, you can actually download an app. I want to think it was Lemon Wallet and some other wallets where you can have your ID card, driver license saved up. You can, present it. No, this is beyond that. So let me go ahead and read through this. And again, I don't want to read all through it. I'm going to paraphrase it, and the reason why, because I want you to go and read that article on his forum. But basically, it says they was talking about, we know that the support for secure ID is coming to Android, and Google is detailing some of the particulars behind how it will work. And basically, what they're looking to do is, so we all know that you have the ability to hand someone your wallet, or not your wallet, but your ID. A good example they use in this article: you go to to buy beer, and the person say, "Hey, let me go ahead and see if you're of that age." So you hand them your ID. Now you're hoping that the person that's looking at it is just looking at the information to verify you're within age. But the reality is, we're in a world now where your ID has so much information: where you from, where you live, all that stuff. And we know that, especially with spam getting out of control, that a lot of these companies, they take your information and they sell it to third parties. And as a result, you can have someone calling you in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day trying to sell you something. And it's getting out of control to the point where, I get it. I'm not even bashing the people that sell stuff, because I literally was on that side of being someone who had to call someone to try to sell insurance, as that was the thing I was trying to do before I, got back on with this company I'm on at right now. So I'm not really bashing the people that selling things. I mean, they basically say, hey, here's a list of a sheet. You need to call through these list of people, and you need to get through it and try to get us some leads. I see the other side of it. But being someone who, I'm like, man, going through the day and having to deal with that, it's like, look, it'd be one thing if I personally went online and filled out something and asking you guys to call me. It's another thing for you to have got my information, because it was sold to you from like Publix or Walmart or something like that, because I went to them to present my ID to buy alcohol. So basically what they're pitching here is that instead of you giving them your ID and they actually had to go through all your information, and again, you don't know if the other person is legit or not. And speaking of that, there have been many situations where you have a scam artist that's working at some of these stores, and they able to remember your information, write that stuff down, and then next thing you know, they're sending open up stuff in your name. So if you're someone who's like, look, I really don't want to give someone my ID, you actually, or Google pitching an idea where you can actually push a button. It kind of similar to how you would do, let's say, when you use Google Wallet. And basically, on the other person end, they can ask, is this person over 21? And basically, through encryption, they can check your ID and they'll pop out either yes, he is, or no, he isn't. And at that point, that's all really that person needs. You don't need to see, where I'm from or anything like that. You just need that. Or let's just say you're going to a store, let's say Walmart, and you're buying a firearms, and they do got to get some other information. It's basically going to present the information that they need. No more, no less. And basically, by doing that, you allow to be more secure. And that makes sense because, again, we're trying to get into a more secure, I say world, but in a more security as far as our information. Because I understand this, at the end of the day, a lot of people are used to presenting their ID. But how many times have we handed someone our ID and we forgot to put it back in our wallet, or we dropped it, or we all been through this, whether it be our ID or even our bank cards. You're buying something at a cash register, you're trying to hurry, and you put stuff down, and next thing you know, you're walking off and you left your ID or you left your bank card. It happens, And so the fact that we are getting to the point where you can use your phone to do so much more is making it that's less likely. And I like the idea now that because of one of the things that COVID did bring is the fact that more businesses are using touchless payment systems, which means Android Pay and Apple Pay is being more and more used. And it's like, man, instead of me having to pull out my wallet and risk dropping all this stuff, I can break out my phone, which I'm already on anyway, pull up the card I want to use, and just scan the ID card or to scan the teller or the machine, and everything works. And look, for someone who's always on the go, we all on the go, it makes things a little bit faster, make it a little bit smoother, and it provides a situation where we less likely to drop or lose stuff. So I'm actually liking that idea. I'm liking the thought of that being something that can work. And even I know people say, hey man, what happens if you lose your phone? Well, it's no different. Like, if you lose it with Google Wallet, it's, your phone is pretty much encrypted. And basically once you lose your phone, you can go and have it erased or whatever. And it's to the point where they can factory reset your phone, but they can't get in there. Now, are there still some ways that people can find a way to get into your phone? Yes. I mean, we know that there is not 100% foolproof way of protecting your identity. But, I mean, really, if we're at the point that we are at now where we're using ID cards and still for our driver's license, and it's like, I'm okay with us stepping forward and using our phones for this information. Now, the question is, do you trust Google with that information? And I know a lot of people are like, should I trust Google with that information? Considering you talk about people who sell your information, Google has been known for some stuff like that. If not so much really selling your information, using your information for ways for them to advertise, stuff that make them more money. Whether it be in providing ads that, is better suited for you based on what you say, your conversations, and all the other things they use or listening in on, inspiring on you on to try and gain more money for themselves. Yes, we understand that this is something to question whether or not to trust Google with this information. But I'll say this. Google already know this stuff anyway. They know that information. Literally, like your ID and all that stuff, they have that information for a lot of us on file, or even they don't have it on file. It's not like, they're not able to secure it because we do so much on our phones. So it's like really having one other thing on my phone and being secure by Google, I have no problem with. Now, obviously, we definitely want to make sure we have the right security protocols in place and basically make sure we educate people on how to protect their information and protect their device. But hey, I'm welcoming this. I like the idea. I want to actually see this come to play, and I see this can be very beneficial. Now, I'm not sure how this will work for traffic stops. If we can get to a way where, again. And this route, I think, could be something that'd be a way to be safe for both parties. Because, when it comes to traffic stops, especially when it's at nighttime, and this is me looking at both sides of the situation. If someone who got pulled over, you don't know what's on that cop's mind, and you're feeling nervous. That cop, he don't know what you've been going through because he don't know you, so he's nervous. And so it's the middle of the night, and it's like all it takes is for something to go the wrong way or somebody saying the wrong way, and it can go badly real quick. So, the less things that you fooling around with, it make him feel at ease. I'm feeling at ease. So I like the idea we can get to a way where instead of him having to, hey, let me see your ID. Well, let me get my wallet. And then my wallet is black and he's worried about something in it. Hey, let me pull out my phone, which you see I got in my hand, and I just push a button and it automatically scans to your end, and you can see my information, and you could take it and run it to make sure, I am who I say I am. That works for you because, again, I'm not feeling around through my wallet or feeling around through my glove box, and it works for me because you see what I got in my hand, and hopefully we can, both feel at ease and ease a lot of the tensions that can come from a traffic stop. So, again, I like this idea. I want to see this go forward, and I'm definitely feeling this. Now,